Hey, Avalon here, and I have a little bit of a story to tell. I had an experience about last week. Some of you may or may not have ever had this happen to you. It was kind of neat. For one, I had a really incredible interview I was very excited about, and it was interesting because it was like something I'd be really interested in doing, and they had left me a website to show me a little bit about what their particular sales and management marketing team were working on, and it was called www.childhelp.org. And I'm a nurse and a midwife, and have children, and you know, um, and I feel like if you leave that for me for an interview, they probably want me to look at it, right? And I didn't look at it until like maybe 2 hours before the interview. And so I looked at it, and I was noticing that what it was really doing was it was kind of like dressing up residential treatment foster homes for children. I've worked in those, dressing up child protective services in courts, dressing up, taking children away from their parents, which, me, again, it had one little aspect of advocacy in there where I would want to be teaching parents to prevent this problem versus, letting the police, as they said in the website, look for the perpetrators and parents that were hurting these children. So anyway, I kind of went in with an open mind, and when I got there, it was a nice man, nice younger dude, and, he sat me down, and we got to talking, and, I've learned that, a lot of people, I let them talk first, of course, and, and if you do that, you can learn a lot about somebody, right? And he was telling me, just out of the blue, suddenly I realized he is from Cincinnati, Ohio. What are the odds? Like, that's where I was born and raised, and I was just talking to someone about that last week. Weird, right? And I thought, well, this is going to go well. Already somebody, that he may be younger, but at least we know the same territory, right? We grew up in the same place. I thought that was cool. And then he began to tell me a little bit more about himself and how, he had gone into the military. And, suddenly we're talking about military. That for me, I don't know. Anyway, military. And he looked at me and, he went, yeah, and I work for the NBA. And I thought, you work for the NBA, right? Because he did. He looked like he'd be a basketball player, right? And what he said to me was very interesting. I think he's one of the first people I've ever met that said, no, I mean, I work for the NSA. I said, okay, the National Security Administration. The ones that kind of, watch people and stuff. And he said, yeah. I said, wow, so you did that in the Army? He goes, yeah, I did that like a few years back. He goes, but what was hard about it, was for one, always going to work 7 floors down underground. Yeah, I could see where that could be a problem. And all the geniuses that he had to work with, and he said he wasn't a genius, and, geniuses, I've known some, they're kind of special. They have different little quirks and stuff and habits, right? And they're at the NSA. Anyway, yeah, so I'm putting all this together, kind of in La La Land a little bit, and putting it all kind of together real quick, still thinking about Cincinnati, right? And, and then he tells me that, he'd been in the military, spent time in Korea, which is odd because, like, my family members have spoken a lot about Korea. Yeah, and my commune teacher was a Marine in Korea, but hey, a lot of people go to Korea, right? Anyway, I think I was just kind of getting, kind of excited about the fact that he liked me, wanted me to shadow a guy, and basically what we were going to do is we were going to get people to buy kids of all ages a backpack so for the first time in their life they could have a toothbrush. Sounded easy, whatever. Anyway, I was kind of excited again, it was all very sweet. And then, he said that it takes 3 interviews, and this was the first, but he definitely wanted to set me up with the second. And, I was excited. And then he gave me his card, and it said J. McDonald. And I looked at him and I said, isn't that weird? There must be a whole lot of Scotch-Irish people around Cincinnati. My last name's Mick Kenny. Yeah, and I'm like thinking, that's really weird. That's a lot of coincidences. That could be really good luck or not. Anyway, So I go out to my car, and I get in my car, and I must admit, I was a bit in La La Land excitement, right? And so, I've lived in Austin 40 years. I get on the, freeway. I'm on there 5 minutes. I get off on South Congress. It hadn't been but 7 minutes. I turn right. I'm happy. Suddenly, I literally am bashed from the back by a huge white SUV, meaning bashed from the back. The way it sounded, I mean, literally, I'm surprised my back seat wasn't in my front. And my seatbelt, whiplash, I mean, not good, right? Just really not good. Like, totally, interview gone, accident. And I looked, and the guy literally had hit me as hard as he could and then flew off. Thank you, Austin. So I look in front of me, and what do I see down the road? But I saw 8 white SUVs. Now, for some people that's a problem. For me that day it was too, because I felt like maybe I could catch them, right? No. Not one of them had touched my vehicle. Total hit and run. So here I'm crushed. I'm thinking, oh fuck, now I don't have a car. I'm screwed. I mean, oh my God, my neck. All this mess. I get home. The 2 guys that I know that are friends of mine came out, and sure enough, it was as though it never happened. They just clicked it all back, the bumper, as though it never happened, which was weird, too. And so I got into the house, and, I started thinking to myself, wow, that interview was either super spiritually synchronistic, right? And I'd never really heard much about the Pentagon or the classified information or, like he was telling me, or the 7 floors down of the NSA in my life. I'd really never met anyone. And what's the point of the story? Well, the point of the story is that sadly for some of us, when stuff like that adds up and adds up and adds up, and then you're almost killed, which is actually what the program that a lot of people are in, okay? To be killed or discredited or put in a nursing home or whatever, just to shut us up. Why? Well, I'm an unwitting whistleblower and a happy, proud dissident, right? And just take it from there. I mean, I literally had to sit down with myself, speak with a few friends, and what I realized was sadly, for some folks, that would have been what they would call a hit. Anyway, story time. Avalon. Take what you want, leave the rest. Hope it doesn't happen to you. Oh, by the way, I didn't take the job. Peace.